Hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to Unpolished. I've been rereading my new novel, Snake Island, over and over again, and I've been looking at other people's books as well as I read my own work. And it's a tricky thing. I wanted to talk about that a little bit this week. Sarah Bailey, as I was tweeting about this, actually mentioned this word that she coined, so full credit to her, this word Jelspiration. Now, Jelspiration is that feeling you get when you read someone else's work or you look at someone else's art and you're a creative artist yourself. When you look at somebody else's art, you're both inspired. So you look at it and you think, man, I could do something like that one day. That moves me. I could move somebody else like that one day with what I do. And that could be film or music or whatever it is, whatever art you perform or create. And then at the same time, like almost in equal quantity, you get this feeling of jealousy. You get to look at somebody else's work and you think, my work does not ever or will ever stack up to what this person's doing here. Look how subtly they're manipulating the elements, or look at the brush strokes or whatever. I don't know art very well. But whatever it is, I think Jelspiration's a great word. I think that that's exactly what you feel. I know that's what I feel when I start to read other people's work. Candice Fox as well, who's a great Australian author who I got to meet at Byron Bay Writers Fest. She actually tweeted at me this phrase: comparison is the thief of joy. And that's really true. No matter when or how you compare yourself, you'll always look at that other person's work, and I think you'll always look at your own work and feel inadequate. And that's probably because you are looking behind the scenes. You are the puppet master. You can see the strings being pulled. When I read somebody else's book, I can't see those strings. I can't see that you wrote this section of this paragraph 2 years ago and then this last little bit here you added about a hat because of plot mechanics. I don't get that. When I read it, it all seems to come out of your creativity. And especially when I'm engaged in a story. The thing I'm trying to mention here is I don't think that you can ever get to the point, no matter how long you sit on a novel, I don't think you can ever get to the point where you fully remove yourself from the process and are able to look at your work completely objectively. I just don't think it's possible. I think the feeling of Jelspiration is a normal one. And I guess that's what I'm trying to get at here, that it's a bit of encouragement for you guys who are maybe creating your own stuff and feeling stuck or feeling difficulty in understanding how the heck you could get to Peter Carey when you're looking at your own stuff and you're thinking, man, this does not stack up. I bet you Peter Carey looks at his stuff and thinks exactly the same thing. Well, maybe not Peter Carey. He's been doing it forever. But you know what I mean. It's you can never fully not see the strings being pulled behind the scenes when you're looking at your own work. I actually received some, so the big story edits on Snake Island, my new novel coming out next year. I recently received those edits, and the editor did a fantastic job of going through my book and picking out moments that she thought were really substantial, things that she thought were really rich. And she pulled out one paragraph and said, now this paragraph is your Rosetta Stone. This is the hinge of the whole novel is based on this. This is beautiful writing. This is the best thing you've ever written. And I read it, and for the first time in my life, I actually thought, you know what, this is actually pretty good. And the reason I was able to think that was because I had no memory of actually writing it. It was like I was reading another author's work, and it was the first time I've ever actually read my work back. It was just because I was about a year and a half removed from it, and it was a part of the novel that hadn't really stood out to me as being difficult to work on. It just came out naturally. And that was the first time I've ever really felt like I'd created something that I would be impressed by if I were reading it. I love Snake Island. I love the book, but I know that I'm able to see all those strings being pulled behind the scenes. And I want to encourage you guys, if you guys are creating something, you're finding these same difficulties, it's a totally normal thing. When other people look at your art, they're not going to see those strings. They're just going to see the thing that you present them with. So take encouragement from that. I want to talk a little bit about Byron Bay. It was incredible. You know that old phrase, imposter syndrome? I don't know whether I feel like I was there because I was invited to be there. The organizers read my book, so they wanted to hear what I had to say. I felt like I was articulate. Like I don't feel like I'm not deserving of a place at that table and in that back room. But gosh, just sitting there and watching all these people walk around who are so interesting and writers who I respect greatly. You just sort of sit there thinking like, what is this life? How the heck did I end up here? They put all the authors up in this little residential thing, and I went out from my room to have breakfast, and in the kitchen was Miriam Lancewood, who her story is incredible. She's lived out bush with, just with nothing, and she hunts animals, and she showed me her bow, and I tried to pull it and I could barely get the thing back. And talking to her was Lem Sissay, who's a poet from Britain who's incredible, and then Chris Hammer's there eating a croissant, Chris Hammer, who wrote Scrublands, and you just think, how the heck did this happen to me? Anyway, I was just really humbled by everybody there, and everyone's really kind as well, which was amazing. So I had a great time. Byron Bay Writers Festival, if you're interested, I feel like it's one of the best festivals in Australia for writers. All readers, definitely get along if you can next year. As for books I'm currently reading 2 books. I've just finished Second Sight by Aoife Clifford. I'm going to be interviewing Aoife at Brisbane Writers Festival, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So I've been busy reading her novel. It's awesome. I love the concurrent mystery, so a mystery in the present day that gets revealed through the mystery of the past. Love that stuff. Really well written, really interesting novel. I'm also reading a book by Denise Mina, who I'm also interviewing at the festival, called The Long Drop, and again, it's really great, and it's got, again, the concurrent storylines, which is great for an interview because I get to ask questions of both authors, but hers is a little different, set in 1950s Scotland. It's a great novel, it's really well written, it really sets the place and time through especially vocabulary. So I love that book, I'm really enjoying it. Nearly finished it, and so I'm really looking forward to meeting those 2 brilliant authors at the festival. That's all from me, guys. Short and sweet this week. I would love to know what novels, if you're a writer or an artist of any type, what is your Jelspiration? What are some novels and things you keep coming back to and just loving again and again, but also looking at it like, man, am I ever going to stack up to this? Love to hear it in the comment section. Let me know. Thanks.